I made a TikTok making fun of RFK Jr. because there is a voice modulator thing on TikTok that makes your voice sound.
I like that.
It's a wobbly voice.
Wobbly. Okay,
and so I said, like, hey, if you use this voice effect, it sounds like RFK Jr.
Uh-huh.
And got multiple comments saying, hey, that's not cool. Don't make fun of his voice because that's a condition.
Gotcha. Yeah,
And this is ableist to make fun of RFK Jr. because there are lots of things to make fun of him otherwise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did not agree. And well, I mean, I can make a case for why or whatever, but one, I was just thinking about punching up, punching down. Because basically it was like, you're punching down because this is ableist, right?
Yeah, sure.
But I also think that we have to consider punching up and punching down is like, we also have to look at me as a whole human being and RFK Jr. as a whole human being.
Sure.
There's no world where I'm punching down on RFK Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is the fact that you're making fun of someone's voice, does that make other people who have that condition?
Yeah. Are you punching down versus other people? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I actually think this is harder to math out than people think it is, because what you were talking before about, like, is there going to be pushback to these things? Do we end up with this web of like, well, it's punching up because he's the Secretary of Health, punching down because it's ableist, it's punching up because he's white, it's punching up because he's straight,
Yeah.
But then the great thing was that I did some research on his actual condition, and his vocal condition, one of the potential contributing factors to getting this is measles, mumps, and rubella.
Oh, the things he doesn't want to vaccinate.
The things he doesn't want to vaccinate. And I was like, fuck him. I will make fun of this all day. Like,
the hypocrisy, the irony is, yeah. It feels like you're wading in a little bit of these waters. Like you're online. Like I'm realizing that I don't know what your online presence is, and that I haven't, I don't follow you on enough things. Like,
I'm
I feel
fully
like you're
pro Elon. That was not a Nazi salute. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
But you're wading into some controversial waters. Like you're starting to mix it up a little bit.
No, that was genuinely I just thought it was funny. Like the voice thing sounded like him. I wasn't like purposely, but
you're going to get right wing, you're going to get pushback.
Well, no, but this was from a left person, saying,
sure.
And then I made a video saying about the measles, mumps vaccine and how that's, that disease is a vector that might have you think, right. And what was interesting was that person was immediately like, hey, okay, that's fine. Like they just voiced some pushback. And some of that I think we're dealing with is also with a single person. It's like, okay, you're not realizing that you're leaving a comment and that they're a human being, and then they read it and it has this impact. But in a bigger, when you think of like your commenters as a group, there's also the factor that 100 people having that little slice of like non-humanity where they just react that way. 100 people, 1,000 people, 100,000 people like that will create this mob that's like very online and will overrepresent that feeling to you, the creator. You'll be like, holy shit, everybody's good, like on me about these fucking not wearing shoes on my podcast thing.
Yeah.
And it might just be like, like 5 people thought that.
Yeah.
And then like 9,500 people didn't think to leave a comment about it because it didn't occur to them at all.
Well, and I will tell you that the people who cared were my literal friends on my text chat. So I know who they are.
Right. But you know what I mean?
But I thought about it.
It starts to overrepresent itself.
For sure.
And then again, with audience capture, are you starting to move towards actually a non-representative sample of the audience?
Like I'm catering to the shoe on demographic. I'm really caving to the shoes on. Yeah. Whereas a lot of people were liking my.
It's interesting these days because you can really see these things from so many angles. Because like I am a fan of many podcasts, so I'm often seeing it from I'm a consumer. Like I pay for your Patreon, I deserve this or whatever. And then you'll also be like, probably if you don't already, we'll have a Patreon for this show at some point.
Sure.
And then you'll be like on the other side, trying to think of like what to create for your audience.
Yeah.
It's so
You have a Patreon, right?
I do have a Patreon.
Yeah. And is it for Blood on the Clock Tower stuff, or is it for your social? What is it? What's it?
It's just for me.
It's just for you.
So
is it for the Chris Gray show, or just for your total life?
It is essentially going to be for the Chris Gray show, but it is for my life. So like it is basically, I've kickstarted 2 solo shows for Edinburgh, and I don't think I can kickstart a third.
Yeah.
I don't think that I can go to my friends and family again.
Right.
And I mean, I still have shit I have to send out for the first one.
Does anyone really expect to get it?
Don't start a Kickstarter. You get a fair amount of money. You have to pay taxes on it. Which is crazy. I mean,
they don't tell you that.
It's not that it's crazy. It's just that, okay.
Yeah.
Artists aren't best with money.
Yeah.
So you are like, man, all these people gave me all this money.
Yeah.
And then
it's a donation.
When tax time comes around, you're like, oh, that was income.
Yeah.
I should have actually set aside 40% of that. But
40%, you're in a high tax bracket, I guess.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
My husband does the taxes. All I know is like last year he was like, hey, you need to give me some money for the taxes we have.
Yeah. Do you guys file jointly?
Yes.
Yeah. It gets a little confusing for sure.
I don't understand any of it.
Yeah. My wife makes a lot more money than me. And so I'm always like, well, do I owe any? Like I have a lot of deductions.
I wish you would take like a 50s male Suburban. Like, well, I mean, I'm the one that clears out the toilet when it gets clogged.
Yeah, no, I've been wifed. I've been wifed up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've never been with someone who made like a significant more amount of money more than me. I was always the one. I either made like the same or more, and it affects the relationship. I mean, it is like, it's not
really.
It's not invisible. Just like internally, I feel like, the other
less than.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something we all talk about.
Yeah. No, you just
is that baked in misogyny? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I just think it's weird to be on the other side of it. I think
you're supposed to be the breadwinner.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the breadwinner.
Yeah,
and I'm sort of like, I don't say I feel like.
Why is that? What is that a phrase, by the way?
Breadwinner.
Yeah. Were there contests back in the day? This is the kind of stand-up material I'm developing.
It's gonna go great. Save this for the Chris Gray show. Don't burn it all.
I'm doing a set tonight. I'll bring it tonight.
Where are you performing tonight?
At the Elks Club in Van Nuys, which I'm a member of.
Oh, well, this podcast is going to come out in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
so
great.
No one's going to
get in a time machine and go back.
Yeah, but maybe they can check the Elks Club
for my
lineup.
Killer. So what kind of contests were they having back in the day when they first figured out how to grind wheat?
Yeah.
Here, first place, a loaf.
A loaf. Yeah.
I am very happy that you're married.
Thank you.
I don't know if people know you also have not just the two of you. You have other things going on. I don't know how private people are about it.
No, they know. I've talked about my son on the podcast. We don't say his name. We're trying to give him internet anonymity.
Yes. It's Elon Jr.
Yeah. Elon Barron.
Wait, doesn't Elon's child have a weird name? Like,
he's got 11 kids.
But isn't there one that's like X11A or something?
I honestly don't know, but yes, I think they all have pretty strange.
I'm very happy that you're married with a child.
Thank you.
Because you were one of the people that I was worried wouldn't get married. I don't know. Has anyone ever expressed that to you?
Not on my podcast.
Well, it's only the 5th episode.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll dig into that. You were worried I wasn't going to get married. Why?
Sometimes I have friends who, when you get into your 30s and 40s,
right,
you just worry that they're going to be single a lot.
Right. They've crossed the Rubicon into singledom. Like,
yes.
If it was going to happen, it would have happened. Yeah, by now.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And for men and women, which is weird because like, it's not that I care that much about you. I don't know what it is.
That's all coming out, Chris. It's all coming out on this.
But you know what I mean? I don't know if you have people.
If you wanted to, if you were trying to win a loaf of bread, you would have bet I was not going to get married. Yeah, to win your loaf.
We have other friends that also, like, in the last 5 years have gotten married or gotten a partner with children.
Yeah.
Other people that we've done pilot projects for the New York Television Festival with.
Yep.
And some of those guys too, I was like, man, are they just gonna sort of be
coast into the horizon.
They ended up with.
Well, it turns out that I mean, I always assumed I was gonna get married. I always thought I was, and I will be honest that at a certain point, I thought maybe it's not for me. Maybe I won't. Maybe I misread the room of my own soul. Like maybe I'm just not that. So I think that's totally valid. But
since then, are you like, oh no, I should have. Like,
I love being married.
Yeah.
I love having a family. I think it's great. My wife and I.
Your wife, not so much.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I got this ball and chain.
I'm making so much more money than this guy.
I know. I go on all these vacations. We met each other in middle school, so we've known each other for a long time. Ohio, yeah. Okay. And we were friends all through high school, and then we kind of went our own separate ways, and then reconnected. So. For me, I was always very afraid of commitment, but it was always about finding the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt like I had found the right person. And so that made
every
it a lot easier.
woman you dated, you were like, how much money do you make? Not enough.
Not enough. Listen, I've dated some very...
Daddy's got to coast for a little while. You know what I'm saying?
Chris... thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Sure. Was that the end?
No. No, I think it's, I wanted to have kids. I wanted to be married. And I was just, I was afraid of commitment a little bit. And I was worried about finding the right person. And it became a little clearer. And, I felt like, I dedicated some of my life to it. I felt like I kind of dated like professionally.
With intention.
I was like, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out who I'm really compatible with.
By the way, I was recently, speaking of dating, able to get on the dating app Raya.
Yes, I've been rejected from Raya.
So
once.
Raya is a dating app for celebrities now.
Nice.
And rich people. And now I don't really have any.
And beautiful young people.
I wonder how many people join it for this reason. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to see who was on it. And you have to pay immediately.
Oh.
$25.
Is it a month or is it
a month? So I already
wow.
I basically joined it to see who's in it and I immediately canceled it.
Yeah.
No, first of all, by the way, I don't have any intention to date anybody because I have a husband. I'm just I
don't know. You could get on as a couple. There's that one site you can just get on as a couple.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. I'm not against hooking up with people, but a date. No, we're not going to.
You don't have dinner.
Not really. But mostly it was just like, hey, I'm a celebrity. I got into this app. Let's see what the other celebrities are. First of all, not a single celebrity I've seen so far. It's mostly very rich, model-looking.
Model-y, yeah.
I wonder
beautiful.
if you're not rich, do you get in just because you look like a model?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will also say that I have heard, I don't want to poo-poo your experience, but that it used to be way more exclusive, and it's kind of
a riffraff like me. And
yeah, it's kind of become initially that was their publicity stunt, was to be we're only for celebrities, and then they kind of opened it up.
It's a good little scam.
Yeah.
And so also for those who don't know me, none of these people are my type at all. So it's fine.
Do you want to talk about your type?
Yeah, my type is big guys. I love bears, and none of them are to be seen in a dating app that is for extremely good looking people. In fact, the people on this app, I'm like, well, why was I let into this app? But
did they still make you show your Instagram? That's what they were doing back in the day.
Maybe
you had to give them access, and you had to pictures with celebrities.
No, they didn't have to do that, but I had to. It looked through my contacts and said these are the other people on Raya that are members, which is also very interesting.
Oh, that is.
I think actually that's kind of a privacy invasion.
Yeah, totally.
Because I could see who of my friends were on this app.
Yeah, and then I had to quit. You did.
Well, I had to click them to say. This person, do you vouch for this person?
Yeah.
I imagine that they got a message saying do you know Chris Grace?
Right.
You want to let him in?
Right.
And then
interesting.
And enough of them, I guess, did. But you can also search, which is, I guess, unusual for a dating app, where you can just search for actors in Los Angeles. And then I found a couple celebrities that way. Bobby Lee was one of them. But in this case, it's not just sorting people that are like interested in dating men. So there's no assumption to be made. It's literally showing me like men and women of all sorts of people just listed themselves as actors in LA. So very disappointing. I thought I was really hoping I would find, like I wanted to find like hot celebrities that were not out as gay, but only on this app.
Interesting.
And that did not happen for me.
There was oh gosh, who was the guy on Friends that passed away recently? Matthew Perry. He was famously on. Right.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew some people that ran into him.
How great is Raya?
Great, nailed it.
I don't know. I remember how his thing is. I mean, Raya is just 10,000 idiots in an app. That's what every app, every social media network is just a million dumb people in a room.
Yeah.
In a way.
There you go. And you just got to capture those.
Yeah.
Get those people in.
So I got another. You see this 3 weeks. You probably got 6 days to find me on Raya before my membership expires.